Hi everybody, welcome back. And Eric here, continuing our little segment on some of the questions that you may have been asking along the way. We put it out there. I know many of you have asked some particular questions and have had an interest in my career, so we thought we'd have a little fun in doing that. So one of the other questions I got here was, tell us about some of the craziest things you've done to further your career. I can't tell you that because my mother will most likely be watching, but nothing too crazy. But what I would consider crazy would probably have been my singing telegram days in Florida. Those were quite interesting, doing Barney's Ninja Turtles, Batman's running around in rubber suits at 98 degrees Fahrenheit, and Mr. Wonderful's, and also a gorillagram with children chasing me around trying to get the zipper and the clothes off me to stuff pizza and pop into the suit while everybody stood back and laughed hysterically in the mall. It was great. It was a highlight of my Broadway career. It's never happened yet. Yes, I have to say I've done everything from cleaning toilets, public rooms in my little hometown of Mooresburg at what used to be called Paddy's Inn, straight through to being a bellboy, a waiter. I worked in Toronto at the King Edward Hotel, which was a great highlight as well. I was the high tea guy, and considering that the tables only came up below my knees, it really was high tea when I served it. And somehow I got the reputation of Tinker the Tea Queen. I'm not exactly sure how that came about, but I'd like to thank my friend Catherine for that little highlight at the King Edward Hotel. Yes, I guess in show business, some of the auditions you do, yes, it's not uncommon for me in the past to have had to wear high heels. Apparently I have my grandmother's legs, so and I often got asked to do some of the auditions for the drag shows, and back then that was a big deal. Anymore, it doesn't matter as long as it pays the bills. And for those of you who've traveled in Ozamar, you've seen Priscilla Meets Abba, so a little bit of fun there, lots of stuff that you in show business continue to do and be creative, and there's the highs and lows, of course, in show business, but it's amazing how much you learn and appreciate just on some of the basics in life to get you through. Here it says, people sometimes say that a voice is an instrument. Does that mean anyone can learn to sing in the way we teach violin or guitar? If not, what's the difference? Well, your voice is an instrument. That's absolutely correct. I say, and have taught for 10 years, speech level singing, and as long as you can carry a tune, then we can teach you how to sing. And by that I mean if you can sing Happy Birthday or anything like that, we can certainly develop the voice. And I've done so. I've actually worked with a tone deaf young lady, but we took a different approach. And her objective was to one day sing in karaoke and bring the house down, and she did just that. It took 3 years. But she had a beautiful operatic style voice, and it's really just tapping into the different styles and the colors of the voice that are going to come forward. So whereas a musical instrument, all the pitches are already there. So whether it's a piano, hopefully it's in tune, as well as a guitar, it becomes a different approach that way, and it's your ear musically that's telling you whether something is in tune or not. And but you do have to have, I do have friends who are instrumentalists and can't sing. But they do hear the differences in the pitches as well when they're playing, and so that gives you an idea of some of the difference. But singing also becomes something that's very kinesthetic, and you can feel the vibrations and you feel the tones and where they're placed in the different parts of your body as you're actually singing. So it's a little different than a guitar or a piano that just simply emotes whatever you press or play on there, and the dexterity becomes in your appendages as well. So hopefully that answers that little question there. Have you ever had a night when you were about to go on stage and your voice just wasn't 100% there? What did you do to compensate or overcome the problem? Yes, I've had that happen in my career many times, where you're never at 100%, especially in my current job, when you are working on cruise ships, especially as a performing cruise director. You're talking all day long and then you're performing at night. My show's about an hour and 15 minutes long, so it's a constant singing and some of the big belt tunes. And so keeping the body healthy and all the different registers open becomes a challenge, especially when you're air conditioning all the day long and you've got dehydration and you're utilizing your voice. However, I have to say that the pros for me is that talking so much has helped develop my cords, and so they become much more resilient. And when it comes to powerhouse songs, as the chords strengthen and get thicker, then you actually have a stronger instrument. What did I do to compensate for that? Very seldom have I ever canceled a show. I think I can count on 3 fingers in my career when I've had to absolutely do that on a ship. The good thing about being a cruise director, though, you can always reschedule ahead of time without having to cancel. But I carry my little homeopathic, naturopathic medicine cabinet with me. So I have all of the things to keep my immune system strong. I have a lot of remedies, including zinc, which is very good. If you ever have laryngitis, take zinc tablets. They're excellent. But every show that I perform, I always take a zinc lozenge to help coat the throat. And about 20 minutes later, and then my voice just seems to wake up and respond to that. There's all kinds of different methods. Everybody has their own when it comes to singers and what they believe in and what really helps develop. But the key word is what you believe in, and because if you believe, then so shall it be. So I always try to work as best as I can and keep the body as healthy as I can. And there are many times where you're working with your instrument, maybe 80-85%, not always 100%, but it's amazing how the body, once you get into performance mode, actually takes over and remembers what it's supposed to do. And I've always been amazed if I've just allowed myself to go with the flow of things, my voice will actually come back during a performance. So yes, that has happened to me there. And I think we have one more question on here. Have you ever had a scathingly bad review? How did you read or respond? Were you able to use it to motivate you in some way? Never had a scathingly bad review, thank goodness, anyone around. I would say about my performances and vocally, I think because I've either been part of ensembles or my solo career, I actually believed one time that I was going to get one, and got quite a different review from down in the States. But I've been very blessed to be actually able to work well in advance. I think it's all about preparation. As long as you have the conditions and the circumstances and you believe in what you're doing, it's going to sell itself along the way. So soloistically that way, I haven't really had too much there. Now as a cruise director, that's a whole different ballgame. But I will say that in this particular job, you cannot make everybody happy, and happiness comes from within. So there have been a couple of reviews along the way, and you just simply have to take a big breath, smile, and say, "This too shall pass." But it does motivate you in other ways, and it helps you realize, and it certainly has helped me develop as a person to allow myself to feel things that may be true and let go of things that are not necessarily true, to grow and develop from them. And I think we're all here together helping us grow and develop each in every way, and overcoming those mountains along the way is all part of what we're doing in life. But at the same time, been extremely blessed to meet some great people around the world in this job, and the accolades have far surpassed all of any kind of constructive feedback that I've received along the way. In the meantime, thanks for joining once again, and we'll catch up with you at another point with some more fun questions.